Hey guys, what is going on? And welcome back to another episode of the Huddersfield Town Career Mode. This is episode number 47, and today we are returning with another big episode with our Terriers. Just the 2 games in the Premier League, but after those we'll be officially halfway through the season as we aim to stay top of the tree. And also the January transfer window is going to open as well. We love those January transfer windows, don't we, Foxy? So yeah, 2 big games today. Let's just get straight to it. And now, of course, in the last episode, Foxy, you forgot to remind me of the recap, but we will do the recap to start today's episode off. There were 4 games in the last episode, and it was a bit of a mixed episode for us, really. Some things went well, some things didn't. We started off with something good, though. We beat Borussia Dortmund by 2-0 in the final game of our Champions League group stage. That confirmed our place in the round of 16, but sadly, what followed directly after that was not good. We found out our opponent, it's Barcelona, in the Champions League round of 16. Yeah, I'm just going to come out and say it. I don't think we're getting to the quarters like the board have asked us to do. But following that, 3 Premier League games, we first drew 1-1 with Eddie Howe's Bournemouth at home, then beat Marco Silva's Watford away by 3-1. What a result that was. But ended the episode with a surprise 2-1 loss to Southampton at home as well, where that was just our 2nd league loss of the season so far. That was a bitter blow to end what was quite a mixed episode in the end, and that was without question one of the worst moments of the entire episode. So today, lots to get through, plus sending our youth scouts out as well. Let's do that first. Did I tell you who our opponents are today, by the way? It's Burnley away and West Brom at home. 2 teams currently in relegation zone right now in the Premier League. In episode number 45, I asked you guys, my head of youth development, to choose where our scouts go next. And in the last episode, there was no mention of it. I let you guys vote in the poll in episode number 45, and then the last episode, I didn't mention it whatsoever. I do apologise for that. In the last episode, I had to record it really early in the morning because I had a hospital appointment in the morning, which I couldn't move, and obviously. And I was really groggy, and I totally forgot about it, so sorry about that. And also, as well, another apology. In episode number 45, some of you pointed out in the comment section down below, I didn't add the poll directly, straight away, for you guys to vote on, to choose the 5 nations, choose between the 5 nations. Once again, I apologise for that, totally forgot it. I've been really forgetful over the past couple of weeks, but I added the poll straight after I realised my error, and you guys pointed out, and we had 5 nations to choose between, and you guys chose 3. Thank you very much for everyone for voting in the poll. I probably would have had more voters had I did it straight away and not forgotten like a complete moron, but thanks to everyone for voting, and the top 3 nations were Germany, Australia, and also Sweden as well. So a big thank you for everyone for voting in those polls. I really, really appreciate it. Once again, I'm very sorry about not doing it straight away. I totally forgot, and of course you guys did correct me. Had I done it straight away, I probably would have had a lot more voters in the poll, but yeah, I made a huge rookie error, totally forgot about it, and there you go. So yeah, Germany, Australia, and Sweden, those are the nations you guys have voted for, so we'll send them all out on 9-month missions, and that means as well these guys will finish their missions around September time next year, which means they'll come back around the start of the new season, and we can go ahead and send them out once again, and again, I'll let you guys choose between 5 nations, and you guys can choose 3. So there we go, sending our scouts out, Germany, Australia, and Sweden, and thank you to you guys, my head of youth development, for choosing where our 3 scouts go. That was a mouthful, that, wasn't it? So first game, and it is indeed struggling Burnley here away at Turf Moor. Sean Dyche getting a lot of plaudits in real life, and rightfully so for the form they've shown this season and their solid defensive capabilities, but in the game they're really struggling. 19th place in the table and only above rock bottom Derby County on goal difference, so we're certainly fancying our chances today of getting a big 3 points. Couple of decent players in the team, including Jack Cork and Ashley Westbrook through the middle of the park, but I'm certainly fancying our chances of getting back to winning ways here. But for us, I'm taking no prisoners heading into this game and fielding 11 changes after our loss to the Saints just 2 days ago. A 4-1-2-1-2 wide for the game as well, the first time we changed our formation in the league this season. Hopefully, changes to personnel and tactics will see us get a change of results and winning ways as well. So Morris in goal, back for Jespersen, Turner, Mawson, Noddy Barjo, Moya captain in the DM area, with Green on the left, Kachunga on the right, and Marcus Ellis the cam, and up top together, what about this for a duo? Steve Mounier and Bradley King. Come on Huddersfield Town, let's get these 3 points.
A team with awful home facts and figures, the worst home record in the league. Actually, they're facing the best away team in the league. Looks a mismatch on paper. On the pitch, it might not be.
Well, if you're the visitors, you've got to make the most of this poor home record and get the home fans worked up and frustrated so that it works in your favour.
First time I tried Mounier and King together. I don't know whether I am going to make King a striker in this team or have him as the cam / centre forward / the shadow striker. I don't know. I don't know, because whilst all of his goals are coming from that role, he is a striker naturally, according to the list of positions, so I'm not sure yet. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But here's Mounier on the ball, trying his luck and curling one in from range, and what a start to the game. Steve Mounier does the dead fish as we go 1 goal up directly from kickoff, and this game is a perfect chance for fringe players to show why they deserve more starts. Last season, this was the man that came to us, knocked on our door and said, boss, put me in the team or I'm leaving next season. I put him in the team and he scored goals. This season, put him in the team and he's scoring goals. 1-0 Huddersfield, an absolutely brilliant start from Mounier. I really like what Steve Mounier is becoming in this team once again, a reliable source of goals. Post-injury, he really struggled, but now he's asserting himself again, being a lot more aggressive, a lot less reluctant to pull the trigger, and we're seeing the results, but Burnley are back on level terms, and I have to say for Sean Morris, he's in the starting 11 for the first time in the Premier League, and I'm very surprised he didn't save that one. I'm very surprised. Approaching half-time, not too many chances in the first half, but there has been 2 goals as we're still tied here. Can Burnley get in front for the first time just before the whistle? Perotti on the ball, rolling it inside. Aggio stung us once, and he almost did again there. Hits the post, and we scramble it away. I've got to say, we're not in great form right now in the Premier League, and if Burnley win this game, that really will be a sign of the times. They're struggling really badly. We've got a great away record, the best in the league, and we've just not played very well in this first half, despite leading to begin with. And Bradley King does score his first Premier League goal and say, don't worry about it, Gaffer. When you put me in the starting 11, I'll bang him in. Bradley with a finish, 2-1 to the Terriers. Come on, young man. Bradley King is a star in the making. We already know it. Cross to the back stick. Green nods it to him, says, there you go, young man. You control it on the chest and put it into the bottom corner. Tom Heaton sidestepped to the left, anticipating an early volley. Instead, he had the technique, the composure, and the cool head to slot it home for his first ever Premier League goal. 2-1 to Huddersfield, and my word, did we need that. And what a way to go into half-time as well. I was writing down on my notes as soon as Burnley hit the post, we've not played well enough, we've not done well enough, we're lucky to still be on level terms, but instead, Bradley King makes me tear them all up and change my team talk. Going into the break, leading by 1, that was a huge pressure-relieving goal from the kid. Jack Cork finds Aguier, their scorer today. He's looked very threatening all game long as he finds Westwood as well. And actually finds Charities back to the goal scorer. Good tackle by Jespersen, will drop straight to Westwood. Now inside to Barnes. Oh! And a really unlucky deflection sees Burnley back on level terms. I think Ashley Barnes will claim it, but I did not hit the calf of Mawson. That would not have gone in. So unfortunate. But they worked the ball inside very nicely there after a tackle from Jespersen fell straight to Perotti, I think it might have been. But the strike by Barnes took a huge deflection off Alfie Mawson. Deflects past Morris, in off the post, and into the back of the net. 2-2, Burnley back on level terms. Unlucky, but just one of those things. Got to keep a cool head though. You see me there clapping in the background saying, come on lads, don't worry about it. Let's get back in this game and back in front. Because that's what we do, man. That's what we do. We're a team that like to respond. We don't feel sorry for ourselves. You saw against Derby at Pride Park, a couple of episodes ago. Doesn't matter how late we concede, we'll always keep on fighting until the very end. King on the ball, rolls it inside. Marcus Edwards, chance right on cue to prove that. Oh, well. He should have done, but he put it miles wide. And there it is. Final whistle here at Turf Moor, and a very poor result for Huddersfield as our poor form continues. I'm surprised the Burnley fans are not happy, because that's a very credible point against the league leaders, but we're no longer the league leaders. Presuming City beat West Ham, which I assume they did, we're dropping to second, and our place at the top of the tree is gone for the first time in a long time. You could argue that maybe we were unfortunate not to claim the 3 points in this game, especially after the deflected Ashley Barnes goal gave them the point. But, as I always say, luck will balance itself out eventually, and I'm sure at some point we'll get some good karma this season in the second half of it. So, 2-2 the final score. Disappointed not to get the win, but one of those things. Our poor league form continues, but there were some bright sparks in the game, some bright moments, including for this young man. Bradley King scoring his first ever Premier League goal. He'll get man of the match in a 2-2 draw, which wasn't that bad, but did City win? Let's find out. Yes, they did, which means that unfortunately, as we'll head into 2020, we've lost our lead at the top of the table. The league table will be on the screen for you right now, and that's absolutely gutting, man. A really poor run of form by our standards sees us slip to second. Just not good enough, man. Just not good enough. We can't defend right now. I mean, I'm saying that. We are still the best defensive team in the league with just 13 goals conceded in 18 games. But when you look at our recent run of form, it's been so poor. You know, seriously, just 1 win in our last 5 and only 2 wins in our last 7. Had it not been for Arsenal slipping up so badly, we would have not stayed top for that long. So disappointed, but got to pick ourselves up and win the next game. But before that, we have an academy update here as we're now into the first of the month. And as you can see, the chief exec says the transfer market is open. Yes, get in. We love the January transfer windows. And also, I don't know if I said this or not at the start of the episode, but I also want to show you guys my global transfer network scouts today, because a lot of you guys asked me how I find players on pre-contracts, and some of you guys are mystified as to how I do it. I did a video on this a few years ago, back in FIFA 14, I think it was, but I'll show you anyway for those who didn't see that video, and I'll explain how, you know, the best way to do it is, at least in my opinion. Secondly, the academy up here, how the boys are currently getting on. Our youth academy still looks stacked. Can't wait for some more German, Australian, and Sweden talents joining the youth team as well. But yeah, for the global transfer network then, a lot of you guys asked me how I find my players on pre-contracts. Now, there are numerous methods out there, and the best really is to do manual searches. Now, manual searching means you go into the search player section of the game, and what you go ahead and do is go to the best leagues in Europe, or any league you want, really. It's up to you. And I'm all over the place here. Sorry about this. I keep on forgetting sometimes. But yeah, you want to go to the best leagues, or you know, your opinion of the best leagues in the world, and you want to go to the minimum age 23. So that's the minimum age you can sign players on a pre-contract. Max can be whatever you want. Normally, I have a cut-off point of around 35, 36 years old, and you go ahead and go into every single team, and you literally just go down the list and you press X on each single name, and you see right there's one contract expiring in 6 months. This player is 23 years old and over. He's 25, and that means we can go ahead and sign him on a pre-contract. We put him in the shortlist, and we can go ahead and put him, give him a pre-contract in our transfer hub. So manual searching is probably the best way to do it, but it is obviously going to take you an awful lot of time to wade through the entire teams of players, you know, throughout the leagues in all different countries. It will take you a very long time, but it's the best way to search for every single player that has their contract running down. The other way is to let your global transfer network scouts do it, and this one is a time saver, to say the very least. Not quite as effective, as they will miss a lot of players, and you can only have 6 scouts going at one time as well, but it is the best way to do it to save you a lot of time. Now, you want to get your scouts scouting different areas. Now, normally I have 6 scouts, and I send 5 of them out, keep 1 available for individual scouting for other players. But you normally want to have 5 scouts, and you want to send them out to different leagues. And for me, I normally pick the same 5 leagues: England, France, Spain, Germany, and Italy. Most people would probably say the top 5 European leagues in Europe. So I normally have those 5 scouts out there. But right now, we've just got 3. So we've got England, France, and Spain for the moment. So they're currently scouting those 3 countries. And the instructions are as follows. We have any position and first team quality. Whoops, I'm all over the place again. Sorry. We go to edit instruction, and you can see here, position is any position. That's totally fine for me. And the attributes of first team quality as well. That means your scout will only find you players that are good enough to be selected for your first team based on rating alone. The contract is always 0 to 1, which means they're in their final year of their contract. So just 1 year deal remaining on their contract. And I normally set the age at 22 to begin with, because some players turn 23 during the season. So that way you'll never miss a player if they turn 23, but you started on 23 to begin with. So yeah, age 22 to 40, you can only sign players that are 23 or older. First team quality attributes, and position any position, or if you want to, you know, specify, that's totally fine as well. You can choose a position if you're more focused on that. But again, the most important component is the contract and the age as well. Only 1 year left maximum, and 22 to whatever maximum age you want as well. And if you've got those scouts going out, as you can see, my scouts have been going out for how many days? Oh, I just changed it. Well, you would have seen a moment ago how many days I've been scouting, but I normally leave it for the entire series, and you have the players scouted there. It will tell you how many players have been scouted in each separate country from all of these 3 scouts, and they'll pick you up players that have their contracts up come the end of the year and at a first team quality as well. So our scout Lewis from England has found us Javier Manquillo for Newcastle United, Gerald Moreno from Swansea, very good. He looks Jack Grealish as well, Robbie Brady, not a bad option from Burnley as well, and just a general list of players that have their contract up come the end of the year. Now, the one downside is that they're not always going to pick up every single player. They might miss some players, they might not consider some players for your scout report, which means you won't get every single player, but you'll get the vast majority of them. So that's how I set my Global Transfer Network scouts up. That's how I find players on pre-contracts. Either manual searching or leaving your Global Transfer Network scouts to do it. Normally I do the latter now. I don't do as much manual searching as before, but yeah, those are the best ways, in my opinion, to find players out of their contracts upcoming the end of the year, and you can sign on a free transfer for the new season. And how many of you guys stayed awake for that segment? Did any of you guys fall asleep? Sorry about that if you did, and I'm sure a few of you were snoring halfway through that, but hopefully that explains it. I get a lot of questions on pre-contracts, and that, in my opinion, is the best way of doing it. But after that, as what you can see here, two interesting emails here from Alfie Mawson and Marcus Edwards, who did start the last game against Burnley and didn't impress too much for us. They both want to be sold in the transfer window. They're two decent English talents. Marcus Edwards has a lot of potential. So with Alfie Mawson, I'm not against letting the guy go, but for Marcus Edwards, what I'm going to do is put the guy on the loan list, because to be fair, he's 21 years old. He's not maximising his potential by being on the bench for the most part. So Edwards, how many games have you played this season? Just the 3 competitive games. We're going to put him on the loan list, and I'll let him go on loan if he wants to. But for Alfie Mawson, I'm still undecided as to whether I want to sell him or not. I really do like him. He scored his first goal for us this season as well. He's a good bench centre-back to have. Do we put him on the transfer list, or do we keep him here? I think for the time being, we'll keep him here. But actually, the board might be making that decision for me, because in the top left there, they just sent me a quick email. I'll stop the sim here and see what they've just said. Connor Chaplin says he's pleased I'm giving him more first team football. No worries, mate. And Alfie Mawson says here, good morning. The board say, good morning. We feel you need to deal with the fact that Alfie Mawson is unsettled. I agree. It looks to be clear that you're not going to use the players, therefore we should get him off the books as he is costing us significant salary. So please take the appropriate action of involving him in the first team, or give him his request of a loan to another club. Now, I don't normally loan out players that are senior and established in the first team squad, but to be fair, I didn't actually consider that. I didn't consider possibly loaning Mawson out for the rest of the season, and possibly having Turner or Pelizoli or Collins or the young Nigerian talent as well on the bench instead. You know what? I'm not against doing that. Because that'll free up some wage space for us as well. I'm not against doing that. I like him as a backup centre-back as a third choice, but I'm not against doing that. We'll put him on the loan list to begin with. If a decent offer comes in, I'll let him go on loan for the rest of the season. So, second and final game today, and it's once again another struggling side in the Premier League. West Brom coming to take us on here at the Kirklees Stadium. We've got to return to winning ways heading into this one. So back to our normal league lineup, if you will, for this game. 4-4-1-1. Hudson in goal. Back for Sessignon, the Great Dane, Twansby in the Ox. With the midfield, Sisto on the left, Malcolm on the right, and a handsome man impressing of late alongside Daniel Amati. Vitinho the Cam, Moses the striker, and we've got 3 strikers, I believe, on the bench in this game, in Chaplin, King, and also Mounier as well. If we can't defend, we may as well keep on doing what we've been doing all season long, and that's outscoring our opponents. And as for Tony Pulis' side, it's a pretty decent 4-1-4-1, with Rondon as their lone striker, and James McLean on the left, and Oliver Burke on the right-hand side of their midfield. They are in a relegation zone, they're not playing well, but based on recent form, this game is not going to be a formality. We need to be at our best if we are to return to winning ways. So Foxy, wish us good luck, and let's get those 3 points and end on the high. Come on, the Terriers. Alright, now scoring goals is not the problem. We've scored in every single Premier League game so far this year, which is pretty impressive, as this is our 19th, but we just can't defend at the moment. That's a real concern for us, because, again, we may be the best defensive record, may have the best defensive record in the league, but our current form defensively has been very poor indeed, as Vitinho turns his man with the Berber spin, rolls it through to Moses. Moses, can he get round? Oh, it's a penalty. Penalty all day long. Higazi, I think it was, went to, oh, it's not Higazi, but someone went to ground. Referee gives us a penalty. It was a Rebaz who came across, and Moses wins a spot kick, no doubt about it, and a chance to go in front. The last penalty we won, we gave to Moses. It was against Stoke, and he won us the game with 10 minutes to go. I think we should do it again. He's our top scorer. He's got a poor penalty stat of just 49. But he's got a 1-from-1 record in this team. Let's see it become 2-from-2. Same corner, hopefully same result. It's Moses, and it is the same result. 1-0 to Huddersfield Town. Moses with the goal. This boy simply cannot stop scoring. I absolutely love him. So, second half begins. Still just a 1-0 scoreline. There was very little going on in that first half, other than the goal that we scored from the spot. And for Moyes as well, 16 Premier League goals now. I said at the start of the season, in the game against Liverpool, I think he'll get 30 plus for the Premier League season. And, you know, I knew he wouldn't suffer from second season syndrome. He's too good for that, man. Won the Golden Boot in his debut year. He's just too good to go into some kind of epic collapse in form as Malcolm finds Coutinho. And maybe a chance here for our first chance of the half. Coutinho through to Sessegnon, now in the left midfield role after being moved forward at the break, and now finds Coutinho, the Brazilian, who's through. Can he find space to get a shot away? Oh, Coutinho! He put his man on the floor and said, sorry, mate, but I've got to tuck that one home for putting you down on the ground. Huddersfield 2, West Brom 0. No skill moves, but what a lovely show of agility. And I think it was Ghazi as well, who just got put on the floor there from Coutinho, and a cool finish into the bottom corner as well. The Brazilian just gets his second goal in the Premier League this season, but I wish I did do some 5-star skill moves there, because that was brilliant. Hagazi sent to the ground. We crossed him over, and it's 2-0 to the Terriers. That was lovely from the Brazilian. We're too frail defensively in our backline. We need to show ruthlessness here to make sure we get this clean sheet as well, the 3 points. Hudson with the save, and we shall throw out, if you will, from the back. It's really important we do sort out our defensive displays as well in this season, because we're not going to win the league if we keep on conceding goals. Yes, we're outscoring our opponents. Yes, we're winning games, but eventually the goals will dry up. They always do. As Chaplin finds Malcolm even, and Malcolm on the ball, trying to get inside, and still Malcolm. It's still Malcolm. It's a wonderful run and a wonderful goal. He had a wonderful solo goal against Manchester United away at Old Trafford. That one just as nice. 3-0 to the Terriers and the 3 points in the bag. Lovely goal there, absolutely lovely goal from Malcolm there. Didn't beat too many players with the skill moves, and didn't use that many skill moves either, but he did what he needed to do to find some space, hammered it home at the near post, and Ben Foster beaten for a 3rd time today, as we do go 3 goals up there. Took it around the same 2 players twice, I think, found space, and Foster beating his near post, as we do go 3 goals up in this game, and surely now the win secured. And yeah, my mistake, it was not Ben Foster in goal, it was Ramiro, I think it is, for West Brom. Sorry about that. I always use the goalkeeper they normally use in real life as West Brom are through, but Hudson makes the save and turns behind for a corner. And with him getting dropped for the last game, that's what we want to see. Hudson making a really important save there to preserve our clean sheet, at least for now. It's not just enough for us to win these games. We need to get the clean sheets as well, as Chamberlain scrambles it away for a throw. And there it is, final score here at the Kirklees Stadium. A big win for Huddersfield Town to get our form sorted. The 3 points in the bag with 3 goals, and also as well our first clean sheet in God knows how long in the Premier League. And after dropping all the boys in the last game against Burnley, this was the sort of response. A brilliant team performance. Every single player out there played well. Look, I had to be honest with them. We weren't playing good enough. That's why none of you started at Turf Moor. But what a response in this game. But for man of the match, it will go to Coutinho. I thought everyone played well, but in particular our Brazilian Cam, scoring a nice goal and getting an assist as well in our 3-0 win. So that will end today's episode of the Huddersfield Town Career. So a big thank you for watching. I really hope you have enjoyed it. We will stay in 2nd place after City beat Stoke last night in a Friday night kickoff, but we closed the gap to just a 1 point. We're not going to let them get away. We still believe that with 19 games to go and halfway through the season, we can be genuine title contenders this season. So thanks for watching, guys. Have an awesome day. Much love to each and every one of you, and I'll see you for the next episode of the Huddersfield Town Career Mode very soon. Bye.